And we're live. Well, that was a terrible way to open up a show, isn't it? Guy clearing his throat. It's so rude. Sipping coffee's kind of rude too, but what are you gonna do? Hi everyone. This was weird. Okay, so I'm sitting here. I'm kind of like doing the countdown because I'm really wanting to hit like at 8 o'clock. But again, without a second hand, it's like so 7:59. I wind up there. I am. But what's funny is I was sitting here and I was just kind of pondering a little bit. It was 7:56, and then boom, it jumped to 7:59. That was weird. Hey, we live in a world of Mandela effects, right? How are you this Sunday, December the 14th, 2025? Can you believe we're almost done? We're running up on Christmas fast. Wow. Wow. Oh, what 12 months can bring. My gosh. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I don't know where you may happen to be. Now, if you're here in the 72601 region, you're probably like me. If you've been outside, your skin hates you because it's cold out there, baby. Yeah, but you know what? It'll be warm tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's funny because again, it's like the whole thing about, you can complain about the weather, but at the same time, as soon as you do, uh, what difference does it make? Right? It'll change in 5 minutes. Well, it really does now. Kooky. But that's really nothing new at all. Hey, there's my buddy Gar. Yeah, I gotta check out your rebroadcast, man, with the monsters. My breakfast wound up turning into an all-day event, and that was pretty awesome. Don't get me wrong, we had a lot of fun with the fam doing the fam things and all of that. Let me get back over here. And where'd it go? Funny how this thing works, or doesn't sometimes. I'll get the comments back up. And with a simple refresh, right? Yeah, that always works. There it is. Nope, there it went. There I am. Okay. I'm going to pin it to the top so I know exactly where it's at. So, hey, Damien, good morning, buddy. I love your consistency. And yeah, you're right, Gar. Staying inside is absolutely crucial. And that kind of is what brought about the topic of today's show. When you get cold days like this, it makes it even easier because Sunday is normally my plan and prep day for the week. Um, I'm an organization nut, right? Because time management is just a thing. It's like for all the years that I've been here and all the duties and roles that I've had simultaneously, scheduling was so crucial. And so I I got to a point where I was getting too meticulous with the schedules. So I was like trying to like really just and it didn't realize that that's really not the greatest idea in the world. So instead, what I do is I just have my little scratch paper and I just kind of blast everything down that I know are priority things this week. Some things that are scheduled that I absolutely there are time commitments that are there. But then the other things that need to get done that then I map them out. And then once I get out done with the show today, I'm going to sit down and I'll probably type it up nice and pretty. And that way I've got more, it's more of a checklist than a to-do list. It's amazing what the framing on that will do. Um, so there we go. But yeah, lots of flow, my friend, lots of flow. That's most certainly what I'm working with in all of this. Plus, I got to, one of the things that I've definitely been guilty of, and I don't know if you do this, but it's like I will like focus too much on the work and not take the me time, if you will. But the thing is, though, is like most of the work that I do is something I truly enjoy. So it's like I don't see it as just work because it's like something I'm doing that's kind of me time. But I do know today I got to have a wonder. I'm going to enjoy myself a conversation with my pal Gar because that's what we're going to do. Once I get past Alicia's coffee time, when I get done with this, I'll give you a buzz, buddy. Um, yeah, see, there you go. See, Damien, that's one of the things I like about you. You got a good head on your shoulders there as far as like keeping just a basic calendar of events and adapt the days accordingly. So that's smart. That's very, very smart. So. Yep. So I like the crowd that I keep inside of this thing. I do. And also to note, and giving credit where credit is due, I finally did go and look at my Twitch account again that I haven't ever really used, but I did sign up at one point because I was stacking things up. So I was working on the profile over there and getting that worked out because I was actually still I think I did it. God only knows when, but I did it, and the only person I'm following is Gar. Um, that's it. And probably all I will do, to be honest with you, because there's so many platforms out there and so many different distractions of these things that it's like it's impossible to even think about just all of them. So that's one thing I have leaned in on when working with clients is that everyone has got to have like this social outreach thing, but be mindful of just focus on one. Use the one till you've got it mastered, if you will, to where you want it to be, and then look into expanding to another one. Because if you get scattershot on it, you lose focus, and then it just kind of it really doesn't do you any favors. So do things that do you favors. That's more important. Let me make sure I turn this off. There we go. That way I have no ding dings coming across. We don't want ding dings. Ding dings make for terrible times. That's all I can say. But yeah, I've got a pretty fun list actually this week because, again, whenever you make a decision of how you want to do things in life, because you can. I know for the longest time, I didn't think so. It was like you have to do, and a lot of those have to do's never really worked out. You know what I'm saying? It's be more flexible. I guess that's the message inside of all that. And yeah, so that's what we're doing there. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Gar, friendly reminder. I checked the tracking. You should be seeing the little box of little goodies Monday. So, anyway, speaking of which, that's another thing I'm working on. Is like all the stuff that I like print up for like the little totem picks in the morning with Flip the calendar. Once again, Leslie Wright, Mayor of Omaha. Get better soon, buddy. But anyway, with Flip and these little gems that I'm printing, I do want to put them together in like a giveaway thing because I love. It's been a long time again since I've done like a giveaway thing, and I like doing it. It's fun, great marketing and branding tools too. But more importantly, it's just fun to do. Um, but you just gotta Nowadays, shipping is just so crazy that I just got to kind of balance out the cost factor. Because again, this ain't about making money doing this thing. This is just hanging out and getting comfortable back in front of the camera. Because why? One, I really enjoy it. I got to see some friends cross paths with. They're normally down here in the 72601, but yesterday while we were in the 65616, I ran into John and Michelle, good folks. Met them back in my door dashing days and Instacarting days, and they were just good folks, and they've kind of moved on from all of that too. But it was good catching up with them and such. What was my point there? I forgot, but I had a point there. Anyway, I don't know. It's cold out there. See, okay, like just what 10 minutes before I went to air. Oh, that's what it was. But anyway, 10 minutes before I went to air, I was outside with Jack the Wonder Dog because he's got to do that because I don't want him doing it in the house, and it's cold. But anyway, in talking with John and Michelle, and we were talking about what all we're doing these days, and really, I love this. And my buddy Lance McKellips, again, he was my buddy and pal and partner in crime in the radio days, and we had a lot of fun, lots and lots of fun. He's actually look up, give Lance a chance on Facebook. He put together his business profile page and everything because he's moving cars over that Crane Kia, I think it is, over in Sherwood. And if you are looking for a vehicle, give Lance a chance. He's a good guy. But in all of that and thinking about all of that, man, I'm going all over the place. I know. Yes, but that's okay. But anyway, it's like, and just thinking about that, Lance was always one that just really suggested I should do like a talk radio thing. And I always wanted to do it. I really did. I've always wanted to do a talk radio thing. But the way the industry has changed now and everything is politics, 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 and vicious politics. That's the thing. It's like to have political discussions, debate, and discourse, that's fine. But now it's just so much vitriol. It's just, ugh, I don't like it. Can't stand it. Not a good thing. Yep. So, yeah, it's 11 out there over there in the Omaha because you're in Omaha, correct, Damien? I do believe that is correct when you and I kind of chatted about that. Not to be confused with Nebraska, everyone. No, 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 no. Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know, and so it's weird though, just the way everything's changed, and again, I don't know where you are in keeping up with what is happening in the tech space, which is kind of weird. Oh, you're over there. I thought you were over. Why did I think I apologize. Okay. So that makes coffee even easier to have then. Okay, cool. So anyway, um keeping up with all that's happening. And it's weird because when I think of tech and I think about like an improvement in cameras or computers and stuff like that, I don't think about software so much. But now I'm really reframing my brain to remember that, oh, yeah, because why? All the AI are software thingies, sort of, but they're different. They've kind of evolved to where they're more than software, but not. They're platforms, but not. It's kind of hard to define that, isn't it? Huh. I don't care. Either way it goes, they're everywhere. They're integrated. And, again, we're like in this giant paradigm shift of the acceptance because there's really no getting away from it. There's just not, because even if you think you are, you're not, because everything else has integrated it. And now it's just rolling out more and more and more. I was watching this one video this morning as prepping for the show, or when prepping for the show, and Truth Stream Media, Melissa and Aaron Dykes. It's their channel and stuff. They've done some really cool stuff. Some may lean to their whole thing is like just conspiratorial, perhaps, but in their presentations they're not coming at you just full tinfoil hat. They're kind of connecting some dots there that I find interesting, and you may too. Truth Stream Media, look them up on the YouTube. Anyway, but Melissa was going off more and more about the AI integration and where you think you're going to stay away from it, you're not going to interact, and so on. You're wrong. You just are wrong because we don't have a choice. It's sort of like thinking you're going to not obey traffic laws. No, they're there. The red lights are red lights, green lights are green lights. The yellow, we still don't know what to do with that. It's up for debate. Do you speed up? Do you slow down? It's up to you. I won't say either way because um, I don't want to accidentally pigeonhole myself and confess to something that I didn't know I was violating a traffic thing. So I don't know. Red means stop, green means go, yellow means But anyway, thinking about all this AI integration, and I do get a little concerned, and maybe more than I should, for my fellow human beings who really may not know what's going on. And again, and is it nefarious or is it beneficial? It can go either way, you know. If you, I would say this is my comment in general on it. If you think that every single, and it doesn't matter how big or small a company is, the goal, if they're a business selling a product or service, is to sell you their product or service, okay? And they will use whatever means necessary to do so. Now, your personal barometer on doing so, there you go. Now, when you get from the size and scale of the place, there are different factors that make those decisions, right? Corporations make corporate decisions because there's a bigger ship to steer, right? Right, wrong, and different. Just saying. But when you've got more of the independent businesses, such as, say, myself, you've got more control and leverage in how you go about it. And I've seen plenty who are very ethical. I've seen some who are not. And I won't work with them ever. Guaranteed. Because if I don't like how you do business, we won't do business together. Because I've had to do that before. I've had to like work with someone who's like signed with a station for advertising or marketing or promotions or whatever. And I didn't like it. But in that role, I had to. So I thought. But I would have if I wanted to keep that paycheck, right? Um, and I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm not going to because I've just positioned myself in a manner to where I can provide a service that I know is beneficial. It takes all the stuff that I learned in broadcasting, combining it where we are in social and tech and AI and all that, and I've adapted. And as such, I can share and spread that knowledge in a good way, you know? And yeah. That's funny. Yeah, if you can't stand the light of day, you might be a vampire. That's true. That's true. But I can handle the light of day except when the light is blanketed in cold. And again, it's chilly out there. It truly is. What is the Yep, it is 11. So it got colder since the sun came up. I love that irony of life, you know. But anyway, I don't know. So I'm just planning the week. That's kind of what this is all about. I'm curious about what your habits are out there in the world. Do you actually do that? And because I know a lot of folks don't. I mean, freewheeling is cool, but it can also it's one of those things like if you don't dictate your schedule, someone else will do it for you, and you can apply that to so many different things. And like if you're not planning your career, someone else will plan it for you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so I love this time of the year too. I really do, Damien. I really like the winter, the fall and winter. Fall more so than winter, but fall's kind of sucks now. It's like we don't get a really good run of fall. Like it's there sorta, but then it kind of runs into winter. So it's like I don't know. They're just I guess if you're there, if you had to be there, or if you were there, you get it. The way things have changed a little bit, it seems. But it'll be what it is. I don't know. Now you done got me going down a deep thought rabbit hole. I don't want to do that. Just talking about how you plan your week. Again, like I said, this is really what I do. I just do a brain dump on a piece of paper, and then I go back in and I clean it up. And then I still do some multitasking, but I've tried to like remove that. I used to be a multitasking fool using the 90s buzzword thing. But I did find that in a lot of instances, it winds up leading to like a mediocre output. I'm trying to break all of those old habits like that. Now, when you got a lot to do, that can still happen a little bit. But truth is that most things can be done. It's not a matter of multitasking. It's just like, okay, for instance, like, okay, so I'm working on all of the online course stuff that ties in with the evergreen content thing. Um, that again, capitalist, but with that, there are things that can be happening in conjunction that I literally just hit a button and it can take care of it, and I don't have to think about it. So a lot of these things will be happening simultaneously without multitasking, but it's still happening all at once. And it's amazing what you can do when you do look at your time and put it together. And one of the things that I know I've got to do, and I keep kicking my own butt, is I need to do the audiobook version of my book. It's important. Yep. See, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So 20 plus page rundown sheet. Yeah, that's great. See, and again, you say rundown, I call it poop sheet because I still think poop sheet is one of the funniest terms that I've ever learned in broadcasting. The poop sheet. Because why? Uh-oh, PG rating getting touched on. But, just you're talking shit. So it's like the poop sheet phrase really worked. Um, but yeah, well, say actually, Damien, that's a superpower. If you can condense everything that you're doing down to a 3x5 card, that's a stressless life because you're focused, man. That's awesome. I tip my hat, sir. Yeah. But what else, man? Oh, you want to see something funny? Again, inside of the space of again, it's weird because it's like, okay, hear me out. All right, 3D printing. Obviously, I just love it to death, right? It's fun. I enjoy it. I'm fascinated with the technology as a whole that you push a button and then lines start forming that turn into something out of the ether, right? And it's great. So anyway, learning the way again, the way this technology is evolving is insane to where you can take a two-dimensional image, plug it in to different software, and it renders it into a 3D model. Are they perfect? No. But they ain't bad and they're only going to get better. And then if you take the time to learn some more computer aided drafting skills, which I tinker with, then you can get better and better. Now, one of the things that's kind of like continues to like grow into like a zenith of this process is all right. Now I don't know if you guys have seen these. I used this yesterday, but like Bizarro, this one was made by McFarlane Toys as part of their Super Friends line, right? And they've got more coming, and if you know me on my collecting habits, I'm cheap. I normally I have the ability to be patient and wait for things to go on clearance because 9 out of 10 times they do, and now more like uh, 10 out of 10 times they do because it just seems like the collector's market is just kind of fading as far as a hobby goes. I don't know if that's real or not. I made that up, but I do know for me. And for what I see on the shelves, and then just kind of glancing online, people just don't buy like they used to. A lot of reasons, I'm sure. But anyway, I got to thinking about the tech. These things are like 20 bucks a piece if you find them at the Walmart. Then if you buy them online, you might as well tack on another 15 bucks for shipping and online taxes and all that. And there was a Simon here on Bizarro. No wonder why he looks so foul. But anyway, I got to think, well, why not just print one, right? Because there's some new ones that came out, like with this last wave. I think it's Brainiac, and I don't know if it's both Wonder Twins or just like one of the twins. Anyway, I don't care. You don't care. And then also Aquaman, or they're coming soon, something like that. Well, I don't care to shell out the bucks if I don't have to. Definitely not full pop. Anyway, so I took the image of Brainiac and then I printed him. And you know what? He is a fantastic placeholder. Good enough, because again, I'm not looking to like play with these things. I love just the aesthetic and the visual to have around, right? So anyway, after I got home last night, and again, it's about speed too. The things that you can do speed wise is just mind numbing. How quick something can go from idea to reality. Whoa. But anyway, I was like, okay, well, I'll do Aquaman next because they're coming out with an Aquaman, but I know it's not on the street yet. So I took the image of the prototype, turned it into a 3D model, and I printed Aquaman. And he came out fantastic. Finished up this morning. I noticed it was kind of a quicker print than the Brainiac, which was like a 12-hour print. But Aquaman was only going to take like 9.5 hours. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Multicolor, that's the key. It's like if you just solid color, it's a whole lot faster. But anyway, so I printed him up. But now those with the eagle eyes are quick to see that I forgot to adjust the scale. Oops. That's why he was a little bit quicker. But still, the point of the matter is that this is real, man. This is what happens. You can easily push a button. Because again, 3D printing, if you're scared of it, don't be. It's like it is a super simple thing to do, to get into the hobby itself, using the tools and the tech, super simple. And again, that's not me being blinded by my own abilities. No, it's just really simple. It's super simple. It's sort of like the animations and such nowadays. There was a little bit of that tree support that was still there. I've been pecking at. Anyway, but it's super simple. And I'm telling you, this technology, I'm going to be remarkably amazed if within the next 1 to 3 years, and I would think one, but within the next 1 to 3 years, it being really embraced in homes for practical purposes, more so than just the silly stuff. Because again, imagine you bought a refrigerator and you have the refrigerator, but then one of the little plastic pieces in there snaps, breaks, whatever, and then you're trying to track down a part. Well, that's always been problematic, and especially in a throwaway society, right? But if you can get the CAD file for that part, and if you have to pay for it, and I made Aqualad, that's funny. But you could actually just pay for the 3D model, the scan, the CAD file, and then just hit the button and print it right here. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a huge disruptor as well, because if you have the ability to do that, then you're putting a shakeup on shipping departments, and delivery services, just the manufacturing itself. I mean, it's weird. I mean, but this is where we are, and this is where things are going because it can't help but. And again, the way I've watched 3D printing on the consumer level evolve over the past 5 years that I've been tinkering around with it, man, it's just mind numbing. And it just keeps going. Again, it's only going to get better. Better, 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 better. And so I don't know. It's just interesting. But that's another point too, is that the ability to scale something from like what should be at that 6 inch, I goofed and didn't do it, so it's 4 inches. But it's literally just doing the quick math, which you can get the robots to help you do the math and convert it. So you go from the let's talk numbers, kids, that you don't care about. But you go from what's sitting that 4 inch is about 100 millimeters, where you need it to be the 6 inch, which is 154.7 millimeters. Just plug it in, boom, there you go. Add some more print time to it, whatever, man. Weird, awesome world. I tell you, it's so funny. It's like I do my best to not lose sight of my personal experience of the past and perspective of the past, to where I don't lose that juxtaposition of how things have always evolved. Not meaning but I mean, everything just does, right? I mean, I've got a cup of coffee here, right? Mm. I have a cup of coffee. This coffee was made by way of one of those little K-cup pots. And I remember back in 2000, end of 2007, going into 2008, is when I was first introduced to the whole K-cup single fresh brewed thing. Sure, there was always instant coffee that always tasted kind of funky and always had that weird white foam on the top of the cup, whenever you made it. And it was okay in a pinch. But to have a fresh brewed cup of coffee from that little cup with fresh grounds in there, right? Who would have thunk it? But somebody did and had been thinking about it for a while. But now it's just so normal. But I remember because okay, so at the time, painting the picture again into 2007, into 2008, somewhere off in there, I was doing some part-time stuff over at Kitchen Collection in Branson, helping a buddy out, and that's where I first saw it. And then I would demo it with people. And the fun thing about doing demos like that was I myself was amazed at what was happening. I'm like, this just happened. And that was so cool. And just to see it so common, because again, it was completely foreign at the time. And as I would demo things, the people were like, whoa. And then, get that whole as seen on TV vibe. But then it hit and it took and it really locked in. And I'm glad it did because I like it. Then, of course, you got the people screaming about the recycling factor and all this and the wastefulness of it. I don't care. The earth was here before I got here. It'll be here after I'm gone. So, whatever. Um, but it's fascinating to see those things to where, again, the day before I had the demo shown to me, I had no idea such an animal existed. And then again, it took a couple years before it really kicked in and really became a staple in the coffee aisle. But I'm glad it did. I really, really did. Because the place I was living at the time, it would have been awesome to have something like that because it sucked. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But I would have loved to have had a Keurig where I was versus finagling with coffee the way I finagled coffee back then, as far as in the processing of it. But again, story for another time. But it is just so funny seeing how things on every level have evolved. Like, and this sucks because I forgot to get batteries because I thought I had some of yesterday again as part of the breakfast over at Golden Corral. Which also make a note if you're a local, and I don't know if this is a nationwide thing, but they're doing like a happy hour thing over at Golden Corral, and this is good if you're looking to save some bucks. They're doing a happy hour from like 1 to 3. That's like $11.99 a person, which is you're not going to get a value meal at McDonald's for that anymore. But great deal. And again, if you're in Branson, they're a great crew, and I really like them a lot. But anyway, it was like a belated birthday thing because for my actual birthday, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and niece, they couldn't come. They were all like ill and were appreciative that they stayed home and didn't infect the rest of us, right? So we made up for it with that breakfast yesterday. And it was cool because Dee got me this and it would light up or should light up and probably does light up. But guess what? I got to go get the batteries. But it looks like fun. With that said, though, it actually added another thing to my list. Thanks, E. But I'm wanting to like kind of do something a little different when it comes to what this set looks like. And I need to kind of declutter a little bit too. So I don't know. And I want to incorporate that because I think it's neat. It was a sweet idea and gift, and I truly appreciate it. So I'm going to do a little design work this week on that. I don't want to go nuts. I don't want to take away from my own personal comfortable um, creative space. I don't want to sterilize it. It's got to be a little crazy back there because I'm a little crazy right here, and it works out. So I don't know, but I do need to kind of like. There's some other things I want to incorporate into this public presentation that I think will be fun. And doing some little bits and everything, like this side over here that you can't see when I go. Huh? Oh God, I lost a hand. Ah, but I want to incorporate that and possibly do a 2 camera thing where I've got like my primary here, then another camera over here just kind of highlight something when necessary, or won't just when I want to. I don't know. It'd be nice. It'd be kind of fun to do some demo stuff. I think maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. But I don't know. Just kind of playing with those things. So anyway, but I'm looking forward to putting the batteries in that because It's neat. Another thing, I've got some other things that I picked up earlier this year okay. Again, this is another one of those things that had been around for a good while, but then slowly started rolling out more and more. Like the little hologram fans that you'll see. Convenience stores are like where I saw them the most. But anyway, it's a fan, and when it spins, and then at one point it was just like words, right? I remember not terribly long ago, like a week or two ago, I had popped in over at Lovejoy Collectibles, and they had the Force Speaks spinning topper thing that had this LED tech built into it, to where when you spun it, and this was released in '99 with Episode One, but you spun it, and well, you would ask your question, and the Force would answer you with 30 pre-programmed phrases. The Force just knows it doesn't need a large vocabulary. But anyway, you would spin the top, and then the saying would read out, yes, no, no, this is great. We'll never sell it to Disney. But anyway, so we did that, and that was fun. I just love that. I just think it's so neat. Two LEDs, but when you spin it, it turns into words. I guess that maybe that's my reptilian brain just completely enamored with this technology. So anyway, it was fun, and then fast forward, what, 20 years, and then you start seeing them more often in like little novelty toys, like suckers. There was little candy dispenser things, and they'd spin. And I made the mistake of getting one, thinking, "Oh, this is awesome! I'll get it for Caitlin," and realized real fast with her long hair, you gotta be careful with that stuff. Anyway, she get hurt. She didn't get hurt, but it was a moment. Anyway, her mama freaked out when I did that, but Caitlin didn't get hurt. Hair's fine. Nothing happened, but the threat level was real. Um, anyway, I think about that, and then I see what's involved, and then I saw those fans, but now instead of just doing the words going across the blades and everything, you get full images, play video. Oh my god! But those, I will tell you, it's funny. You can buy these things. Where I can show you. You can buy these things on the cheap ish. I mean, they're not terribly expensive, but you can find them on Amazon, right? And I got this. I bought one to try it out. I wanted to see after I found out that they existed, and super neat. This is kind of funny because if you can see there on the way it's presented, okay, this is like the blades part right here, but then it looks like the dragon is raising up. No, that's not how it works. It is still flat. However, it can give you three-dimensional image looking, but not above it. Okay, so that's a little bit of a no. But anyway, but it's really cool and it's really fun. I think I may incorporate those on the wall. But now here's the thing I was saying. You can get those things pretty cheap, like we'll say $30. And from an advertising promotion standpoint, they're neat. I mean, it's like if you had a product and you wanted to like just to catch somebody's attention. This is not the end all be all. And it doesn't do audio. I think it might, but I haven't tinkered with it enough to figure that out. But anyway, I would just want it for the visual. Anyway, it's funny because now the acrylic covers, if you wanted to be safe, which you should with these things, story in a moment. But anyway, to cover them, those damn things are expensive, even if you built it yourself. So a safety guard thing, yeah, get a little dicey, a little pricey. But you would want it if you wanted anywhere near the public because that bad boy is spinning super fast. And here's something I learned. If you don't tighten down the little set screws, the blades will fly off at about 3,000 miles an hour. And they ain't joking. They're cutting it, baby. And yeah, it was funny because first time I tried it, I didn't realize that. So, and when you plug it in, it automatically kicks off. Great safety feature, Chinese makers. But it's boom, and it just goes. And then as soon as it goes to speed, bang, the two arms went out, and Caitlin ducked. Her boyfriend, Aiden's mama, Allie, didn't. And I still apologize sincerely. I didn't know. And there were no instructions. There were no instructions. And what was in there was in Chinese. And I don't read Chinese. I know that's hard to believe. And I didn't have the Chat GPT to translate for me. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Then I'm thinking about mounting them on the wall because they'll be safe back there, and I won't have to worry about getting anything caught in them. And if I mount them properly, they shouldn't go anywhere. But it could also lead to an interesting broadcast time to where we could have a little tension in the air to see if maybe by chance today could be the day Jim gets decapitated on a live stream. That'd wreck the rest of the day, but boy, think about the numbers on that video. Man, I'd be viral. Maybe even get like a post-mortem award of some sort. Gosh, that's cynical as hell, Jim. Quit. Okay, I will. That's why in Chinese the translation for duck is duck. Yeah, okay. I did use that one then. Okay, cool. I'm glad to see that I do speak a little Chinese because I did get that out as they were flying across the room. But also, though, seriously, though, I mean, those things, man, they are moving fast and they're good, hard, sturdy plastic with the LED displays on there. So if you make the mistake of getting your finger close, that thing will knock the piss out of you. It really, really will. See, the thing is, a green screen background, I've kind of just gotten over that. I've done it in the past, but honestly, I just don't want that. Plus, if you don't light it right, it looks like crap. And I want to keep an organic feel to this stuff to an extent, because I mean, so much of the things that I and we and you and me and we all do is just so digital, and it's just at least a little practical camera stuff, you know. So, but I was thinking about like maybe a curtain type setup to where I could just pull it. And I may do that because I don't care to set up a secondary system for like when I record these courses and stuff and I need to be on camera, but I don't, in those courses, I would like it to be a little bit more sterile. So I may go ahead and put a curtain type thing here, but I want to enjoy my space and I don't want some stupid curtain just kind of hanging around vicariously. So I don't know. I'm going to play with it. We'll see what happens. Plus, I got a wall here, but then the other wall is over there. It's not like it's that far per se, but it is over there. And I don't really want to run it, but I may have to. I don't know. But then again, I could put something up in the middle there that could work. Like maybe one of those, like, half curve type shower curtain type things that like you see at hospitals and everything. I don't know. But I'm gonna play with it because I don't know. I need to clean that up for that purpose in doing those courses. Um, because I really am looking forward to doing these courses. It's not a matter of just putting that scalable income thing inside of this business model, but I love to teach and to be able to do it in this manner. And again, this is where that skill stack builds when you do stuff like this, right? Gets me comfortable talking to the camera again and riffing more so than just reading a teleprompter because I don't want anything to be stale. Nobody wants stale. Stale sucks. Yeah. Yeah, see, there you go. Because again, and it's like Gar said, I remember before you built the one that I'm sure you probably still use today, and the way you explained it and everything, you were so intricate and so mindful of how you built that thing. I am still just like, whoa, sincere dedication to your craft, and I love that. I truly do. Where are we at? It's 8:37. It's 11 degrees in the 72601, but it's sunny, so I like to call that misinformation. So it's just you look outside and it's beautiful, and then you step outside and it ain't. So yeah, it's definitely that it hurts your skin cold out there. And not just because I've gotten older, even the young, I know you're going to feel it too, but you'll act like it doesn't. That's all right. I used to front like that too. Wow, that's 90s vernacular. I be fronting, yo. But anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good day for planning, and I hope that a lot of folks do that. I don't know. Yeah, good times. But I guess I need to wrap up and kind of like get back to this list. I think Alicia, I hear her stirring around, so we have coffee and all of that. Maybe a little snuggling since it's so cold. Um, but snuggling on a hot day ain't bad either. I know she's not blushing. She'll just get violent with me. Jim, stop it. Anyway, but I hope you all have oh, another thing. This was kind of fun because I like kind of sharing some stuff. Another part of the belated birthday gifting that happened was that my brother-in-law Derek, he had gotten me a new cologne. He says I stink, but this is the Spice Bomb. It looks like a grenade, which is like so masculine, and that's where we got to go next, kids. It's like if technology really wants to get impressive, sure they've got the sight and the sound pretty much of the senses taken over, but they still haven't gotten smell. Ooh. Then you would be able to really, but wouldn't that be fun though to kind of like incorporate like they did back in the the 50s and 60s with the movie theaters to where you could get like the little scratch and sniff cards and you could be really interactive with what was happening on the screen. So I'd kind of like to incorporate something like that. But not for me. I loved it with Gar because he does the funny good stuff to incorporate those old school um, gimmicks that were great, that really built and added to the experience. Hmm. Wow. Wow. I smell like me yesterday after I got that. Wow. I'm like time traveling to the past. Wow. Olfactory sensors triggered. Weird. Anyway, ideas. We can share them. We can use our imagination. We can be, yeah, smell-o-vision, exactly. And we can just be creative and have fun together, and chat, have coffee, and enjoy ourselves. And show that even inside of this digital box, we can connect as human beings still. All the while knowing that there's a lot more of these AI generated people out there. So be mindful of that because, again, man, we're in a weird time. It's like, that as people continue to start friend requesting you and everything, sometimes it's really obvious that they're not a human being or not even a real person or a person posing as something else. But they're getting to the point now where you wouldn't know. They really are. We're there. I mean, we just are. I came across when we were walking around over at Apple Tree Mall yesterday as the movie Minority Report popped out. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're there. I mean, we are. That technology is already happening. I think Australia is like a big training ground for a lot of things. However, again, definitely, hey, I hate what happened. If you hadn't heard, when it comes to there was like a mass shooting there yesterday, whatever our time difference is and everything. It was a Hanukkah thing at the beach, which I didn't know there was a Hanukkah thing going on at the beach. Never heard of that tradition, but there was. And unfortunately, I jest, but anyway, two guys apparently opened fire, and 11 people were injured. I think one of the only people who were actually killed was one of the shooters. But there's an amazing piece of, excuse me, um, footage where one of the shooters, and this is impressive. This is like, okay, the term hero gets so thinned out, but this dude, not the shooter, but a guy got out of his car when the shooter was coming walking back, and anyway, dude just went up and just bear hugged him and threw his ass down and got the gun from him, and that is heroism. Period. Because dude stepped up into the line and just grabbed the dude. If you haven't seen it, it's it's like, okay, cool, dude. And he could have shot that dude, but he didn't. I guess that's just that. If in America, man, dude would have got blown away. I have very little doubt of that because if I'm in a position to where I have to take a gun from you, you're going to have a regret that I took the gun from you. And yeah, so but that's just maybe me. I don't know. I'm not testifying or confessing to anything. I'm just saying. But different mentality, I guess. But anyway, which I didn't know that Australia. I don't know what their gun laws are like. I don't know how stringent they are, but apparently not too stringent because those two dudes. And again, get ready for that because the narratives that are going to fly on that. Man, watch out! Don't get caught up in it. Just know that again, it was a tragedy for people, and that there was one hero, a genuine, honest to goodness hero, who stepped out of his car and bear hugged that dude and got that rifle away from him and probably saved a lot of lives. Or if even just one, that's all you need, right? But that's very impressive. So, but yeah, oh yeah, he definitely. I mean, he went straight up Hulk Hogan on that dude. What are you gonna do now, brother? It was very impressive. So he was a big dude too. So that type of bravery and courage in the moment is I think something that we should all keep in mind. Don't be. I mean, don't get yourself killed. Don't be dumb. But boy, when you see an opening and you're in a situation, take it. I'm tired. That's one of the things that, like, stand down, back down. Well, yeah, don't get yourself killed. Don't be dumb. But if you can see an opening, man, we grew up on Gunsmoke, man. You go sock him in the jaw with no blood or whatever. But that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing of society that I'll just say it. We got sissified, man. And that's how I think people run a little amok because they're not really concerned about doing what they do because they have no fear of getting chin checked. I'm not talking about just going wild, wild west, Wyatt Earp stuff. I'm talking about just then there's no such thing as a fair fight. That doesn't exist. I look at it like this: if you get the opportunity and you see a situation like that, and you happen to see a glass Coca-Cola bottle, pick it up, slack that dude in the back of the head, man. Ain't no shame in that. Win. That's the key to fighting. Winning, winning, winning. You're not in a pay-per-view fighting for the title. You're fighting for the lives. I'm just saying, I better pull that back before I get myself up. Yeah, there you go. Yep. But anyway, but that's a fascinating story. But I'm sure you're going to see inside of the social streams people taking the sides, and whether it's true or whether it's not, as far as like it was religious fundamentalism and different anti-Semitisms and all the other narratives that they're going to put out there. Which again, I don't know what motivation that is. You can kind of read in between, but I'm not going to call it, and I'm not going to get involved in the debate. All I know is two dudes with guns went buck wild crazy on a bunch of people who didn't see it coming. That's terrible. I don't care what your race, religion, any of that. None of that shit matters. What matters is that two human beings did something really bad to other human beings. And for whatever their motivation is, I cannot see justifying it at all. Now, the guy who thumped dude, I absolutely see his motivation for putting a little bit of violence on the spin, because why? That's how you end those situations, period. And dude did it. So look that up. I share it, but I know as soon as I did on the Facebook land, people get all pissy about it. I saw the footage actually on Twitter/X this morning, and impressive. And it looks real, not AI generated. But then again, how would we know? 15 away from the 9 o'clock hour. It's Sunday morning, December the 14th. Cold one here in the Ozarks. Stay warm, enjoy. I'm going to get off here. I got to get back to all the stuff I've got on this list to get it all mapped out. I got to push some buttons so that machine starts humming again to get caught up on stuff. And then a little bit later on, my buddy Gar, you and I shall have a wonderful conversation. But anyway, have a fantastic rest of the day, everybody. And hope you just enjoyed some coffee time, because I did. And I hope to do it again tomorrow morning, Lord willing, and the creeks don't freeze. But they probably will.